Good morning. I am so excited to tell you about my Tony Robbins experience. I am currently in beautiful Tulum, chilling on my rooftop patio, and I've wanted to make this video a few times now, but I just felt like the filming that I didn't really tell a story, so I'm gonna tell you the story right now. I went to Business Mastery, Tony Robbins 5-day business boot camp with my best friend Danny, and we had an incredible time. We booked this beautiful hotel that was like a 10-minute walk from the convention center. It was so cute. It was more like cozy and small versus like a big Hilton. I absolutely loved it. I went in the pool a few times, and the pool was just like right outside the door, and it was gorgeous. Florida was humid as hell. Like, our 10-minute walk was like a sweat session. Every day we would walk to and from the convention center. Sweat profusely. I would have to change. One day I actually brought like a shirt that I made that like had my information on it. It was gonna be a marketing shirt, and I sweat right through it. I used fabric markers, but when you use fabric markers, you have to wash the item after you use them so it sets, and I didn't wash it. I just like put the markers on there and then basically packed them in my suitcase and left. So rookie mistake. Won't be doing that again. And we were also told that Tony likes to keep the convention center like especially cold. So we actually went to H&M and bought some hoodies. So we would like put those in our backpack. I would change when I got to the convention center, and then I would try to hold out for as long as possible before I put my hoodie on. But there were points where I was wearing my hoodie and a jacket that I brought. So I'm really glad that I brought both of those things. But if you're going to a Tony Robbins experience live, make sure you bring layers, because he keeps the area really cold. Not only that, bring snacks, especially if you're gluten intolerant like me. I was spending like 10-hour days like just living off of like charcuterie that they gave. So it's like meat and cheese, and just like wasn't the best. They also had those like RX bars, and I don't know, just like my breath was terrible. I was starving the whole time, but because we're getting so much energy from the whole experience, like it didn't really faze me too badly. Oh, that's a weird bird. And there was so much dancing. So Tony likes to have this group called Embody come on stage, and they really get the party started. And there's so much, it's like a self-development rave, honestly. Like, it's so much fun. There's so much dancing. And because we're learning so much, we have to like jump up and move our bodies around, or we just get tired sitting there for fucking 10 hours, you know? Okay, so if you know anything about Tony Robbins, you know that he is a big fan of getting into state. So you either are power posing, you're dancing, you're moving your body. Like, this dude starts every day with a cold plunge before cold plunges were even cool, you know? So it's all about getting into that state, into that right frame of mind to also learn. Like, you can't be learning when you're all like lethargic and tired or whatever. So getting into state is like his number one priority, and we were in state the whole time, to the point that like me not eating properly, not working out, not having my regular routine, and I was still like absorbing with high energy, lack of sleep, and I was still like all in it. So that was awesome. So one of his big takeaway, or one of his big things, is like, make your move. And so you're just supposed to like power pose, make your move. And I love that. I still do it now. Even the music that he played, like, it's all about the neuro-linguistic programming, you know? Like, he puts on some songs, and that's gonna bring you back into state. That's gonna bring you back to the moment that you learned something. And I absolutely love it. Like, of course, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm here for it. I think he's an incredible mentor. I think he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been doing it for so long, and he has so many successful businesses. Learning and hearing his stories of how he even lost all his wealth and was able to, you know, bring that back again was so inspiring as well. So, yeah, it was just like 5 days of just nonstop mind-bending, mind-blowing talks and lectures. So like I said, I went with my friend Danny, and we were together for like the first day. We got really great seats. We got to like see Tony Robbins up close and personal. Like Tony was like right there at one point, just like talking to me, like looking me in the eye, and I was like, man, like this dude is fucking powerful. Like what a cool experience, and I'm so grateful I got to see him. And then after that first day, well, at the end of that first day, we got broken up into teams. So we were separated, and I went into one group and he went to another group, and he met this fabulous girl named Cheryl, who became our third wheel, but our throuple, not a third wheel. She's better than that. And she's absolutely lovely. So I'm so happy I got to meet her. And then we were broken off into these groups, and we had to go make, they were called like gladiator groups. And I made friends with a bunch of people there. Everybody was such a good vibe. I actually lost my phone in a restaurant during one of the breaks, and I had like a good 10-minute panic attack. Went back to the restaurant, and a guy found my phone, and that guy was in my group. So big shout out to him. Terrible that I don't remember your name, but I met so many people that day or like that whole week, so it was quite overwhelming. But he was my angel, because I dropped my phone in the fucking public toilet, like gross, Sinead, and made a big scene about it. Got super awkward, but also met my new friend Scotty as well. So, you know, through all of these little mishaps were all these little silver linings. So that was kind of fun, sprinkled throughout the week. Okay, so let's talk about the speakers now, because the speakers that he had were not only entertaining and funny and smart, and some of them were quite good looking. They all were very captivating and successful people. So like the one guy who spoke the longest was Keith Cunningham, and he was giving us a Harvard level education on accounting. I took so many notes, and it was really, really fascinating how much I didn't know and how much I really need to get serious about my finances. And, you know, I always thought I was really good at finances. Like, I'm literally going to be teaching creatives how to get better at their finances, especially after this course, because, wow, like, the information that I learned, the information that I'm going to be implementing is so impactful and going to save so much money. And I'm just going to be more, not frugal, but more aware of how I spend my money, and how I'm going to put it into more investments and investing in myself. So he was fantastic. Okay, so yeah, so Keith Cunningham was he made talking about math and accounting like so much more fun. He was from Texas, so he had an accent, he was good with analogies, and so many great stories, such a great storyteller. So Keith was probably a highlight for me. There's also Peter Maluk, who I actually saw him at the Wealth Mastery event as well. He was really good at breaking down numbers, but also reminding you that we are actually living in the best time in history. And he told us, like, you know, even though things like with inflation and everything are seemingly bad, they've been like this throughout history. There's been, you know, peaks and valleys, and we're just in one of those valleys right now. And what Tony always says, like, we go through seasons. Every living being, whether that's a business or a person or like an idea, these entities, which is what he believes they are, go through seasons. And right now we're in the winter, and people who thrive in winter succeed in all other seasons. So we are in a peak winter right now, and he says that we're not done yet. So as much as that sounds all doom and gloom, the fact that you can like prepare yourself now and thrive right now just means that in every other season it's only going to get better. So what an exciting thought. So I really love Peter Maluk. He was really good at breaking down like finances, what to invest in, how to diversify your portfolio. And one big thing for me being a Canadian is that not very many Canadians are investing in other countries. And so that really put a new perspective on investing for me, and to get interested in what other countries have to offer in regards to stocks. David Scott, he talked about personalizing your brand, making video content in order to inform people. He had this really funny story about how he wanted to take his wife to the Antarctic. So he was going through all of these different websites in order to try to convince his wife about you know, how it won't be that bad. And the one website, the one group that did the best work was the people who had video content. So like video content just makes you more personable. It's more engaging. It's more informative. People don't want to read a fucking blog post about shit anymore. They want somebody to get to the point, talk about it on video. And guess what? That's what I'm doing right now, babies. So I'm already ahead of the game because I love video content. So he was really, really funny, really informative. He brought up a few people who had been to the Business Mastery before. One guy was a dentist, and you know, his Instagram page was quite boring. So he's like, okay, well, what interest are you good at that you could add to your social media profile? And this guy was a skateboarder. And so all of a sudden he started talking about skateboarding and his favorite tricks and all of this stuff. So it's like, yeah, we're multifaceted individuals. We don't need to stick to one thing. We want to be able to show the wide variety of personality that we have in order to reach people that are like feeling our vibe, you know? So like, yeah, do I want to go to a dentist who also skateboards? Fuck yeah, I do. So that was really impactful for me as well. I really loved his talk, and I'm really excited to take all of these lessons into consideration in my own business and get on stage at the next Business Mastery. Okay, and then there was Dan Martell, who talked about AI, and the best quote that he had was that AI won't steal people's jobs, people who are using AI will. And that gave me goosebumps because I didn't love all the AI content that I was seeing being pushed out, a lot of it being stolen from other artists, or I just felt like people were being lazy. And at the end of the day, it's actually like a VA in your pocket. And he really changed my mind about the future of AI, and I'm definitely going to be implementing it into my business much more. I mean, I already have, like I said, it's been a week since the Tony Robbins Business Mastery, and I've been trying to implement as much as possible because I just want to ingrain these habits into my daily routine. But his book was Buy Back Your Time, and I think I'm going to be buying that book. And then there was Todd Hartley, who spoke about the power of video again and how essential it is for your business and your personal life. Again, just somebody who is explaining the power of marketing and getting people to say yes to you as a person versus like your business, you know, like we are all personal brands and we should be treating ourselves as such, especially if you are an entrepreneur. Then there was Donald Miller, who is just as funny as the rest of them, and he was talking about how like storytelling is one of the most over or underrated things that you have in your business. You know, for so long, if you've been in the like small business entrepreneur community, a lot of people are like, oh, talk about your hero's journey, how you got from A to B, and what your hero's journey looks like. So for me, I used to speak to my sobriety story and how I overcame my addiction to alcohol. But at the end of the day, people don't really care about that. They're more interested in their hero's journey. So it's about pivoting your language in order to be talking as the guide. So we are the Yoda, or we want to be the Yoda in these people's lives. So we need to focus more on being the Yoda rather than the Luke Skywalker. He was really funny, also has an amazing book that I'm going to be reading while I'm on my Mexican vacation. But yeah, I really liked that flip of the switch for me. That was a big deal. And then there was Dean Garosi, and he talked about marketing and how to grab people's attentions with a proper hook. He told us a story about how he was about to release a book, and he had a relationship with Larry King, the very popular news anchor, and he flew Larry in to do to do a commercial, like an infomercial thing, and apparently it went really bad. Like their basically was like talking about how Dean is like this great guy, he's a father, he's a husband, he's an entrepreneur, and it just didn't resonate with people. So he thought about it, and he flew Larry King back to fix the first sentence. And basically, and I forget, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically Larry King started talking to the person, to the client, to the potential client, because at the end of the day, what we're all learning here is that no one gives a shit about your story. People only care about themselves and what you can do for them, which sounds terrible, but like, let's be real, like that is just human behavior at its core. So really at the end of the day, like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to your best friend or yourself, or are you talking to your future client? So that was really another way of like reframing my brain as to why I got into business. The whole reason I got into business and into tattooing and into coaching is to help people. It's to give them something that they can't give themselves. And that was just, a really important mindset hack for me, or like a reframe for me. And it's how I'm going to be. It's just basically changing my language. And the moment that you change your language in these scenarios is the moment that you get more customers. Then on the final day, we had a panel that Tony Robbins was interviewing, and it was the dude from Liquid Death, this girl, Christina, from Farm Girl, and this guy, Ben Lamb, who is recreating the woolly mammoth. Like, this dude is trying to bring the woolly mammoth back, and that's amazing. His goal at the end of the day is to be able to basically just regenerate our biodiversity. Apparently we're going to lose 50% of our biodiversity by 2030, and he's just trying to get into the lab in order to save the planet. So listening to these three entrepreneurs talk and how they're just like resourceful and resilient, and they just don't give up on their dreams. They are problem solvers, like extraordinary problem solvers. And these people just believe in themselves and believe in their dreams so freaking much. And I absolutely love that. I think that's like me. And I love being an entrepreneur. I love being in business. I'm gonna wrap this up because the construction is starting, and I really tried to do this early enough so that the construction wouldn't be a nuisance, but here we are. See, being a problem solver. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions about Tony Robbins Business Mastery, I'd be happy to answer them. I know that's not going to be the last one that I attend. I will be attending more in the future because the wealth of knowledge, being surrounded by other like-minded individuals, like, it's priceless. So let me know, drop a comment below. Have you even been to a Tony Robbins experience before? I would love to hear it. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.